Hi, my name is Tom Hunt. I'm in the Power and Politics online class in the fall semester of 2019 at Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. A couple questions that I wanted to review in making my introduction video, just to give a bit of my professional background. I had about a 7 or 8 year career as a political fundraiser out of undergrad and then transitioned into a career in university development. I raised money for Johns Hopkins for about 5 years. I left that position in February of 2019. I had been working on my MBA on a part-time basis and decided that I wanted to transition into a full-time program. So that's what I've done. This past summer, I was in a summer associate program at JP Morgan in their private bank, and will be joining them as a high net worth client advisor in their Baltimore office after I finish my degree and graduate in the spring. To talk a little bit about my ambiguity survey, I got a fairly high score, what seems like a fairly high score, 88 out of 112, because of my background as a fundraiser. I've often worked in very ambiguous environments, going into a potential donor meeting, not knowing exactly what that donor's interests or priorities may be, and knowing that my responsibility is to suss that out. I've always been perfectly comfortable going into ambiguous situations and knowing that my role is to create some certainty for myself and for my managers, my firm, my organization, whatever it may be. But for a couple of other questions to talk about, last time that I felt like I was operating at the edge of my talents, I would really say the last political campaign that I worked on was really it. And that would have been, well, I've worked on others since then, but in 2012 I worked for a candidate in California. It was a little bit of a long shot race to begin with, but we gained some significant national attention. We raised a lot of money for that campaign. While it was ultimately unsuccessful, really pushing myself and driving myself to make sure that I was doing everything that I could possibly do in order to provide and find success for that campaign was really gratifying to me. And one of the advantages of working in that kind of environment is because the work days are so long, and oftentimes, as was the case for me, I was working far from my home. We created a very close-knit culture around that campaign. Everybody was incredibly supportive of each other, but we always pushed each other in order to try to perform at the absolute highest level that we possibly could. Some lessons that I learned from that experience, really are talking about ambiguity. The political campaign, you can get a sense over time, but you never really know what the ultimate result is going to be. So it's really important that you operate at the highest level that you possibly can at all times, and that you really strive to deliver for your candidate, your campaign, in all the ways that you possibly can. And obviously that relates very closely to power and politics, because while we certainly had a strong culture around the internal stakeholders in that campaign, the most important stakeholders were external to it. So the question is, how were we able to leverage the success that we found internally to make a persuasive argument to our stakeholders externally? And one of the things that I really hope to get out of this course is to learn more ways about managing the internal power dynamics to help ensure that teams operate at the highest possible level that they can. So thank you for everything. I look forward to a great semester and look forward to learning a lot.